So it's the 18th of April, we're at Lincoln University and I'm with Rachel Field, PhD student working on phytoestrogens of lucerne. And she has an animal experiment that she's going to explain to us now, trying to look at the impacts of those phytoestrogens on ovulation. So Rachel, what's happening here in the background?
So we've got 48 animals currently grazing lucerne, and over in another paddock over that way we have 16 animals grazing grass. And they've currently been on the lucerne for 2 weeks, and they'll stay on the lucerne for another week before we move 16 of these animals onto the grass. And then in another 2 weeks we'll move another 16. And then we will be measuring the ovulation rate of the animals via laparoscopy. And this will give us an indication of how long before the animals ovulate that they should be removed from high estrogen lucerne.
So for a lot of farmers, they come into the autumn and actually if it's dry, lucerne's the only thing they've got, and so they like to feed animals, or if they've got animals that are quite light, they'll also feed them to get them up to weight and put some weight on them and flush them on the lucerne. And you're saying that's not a problem unless the plant's got a fungi, is that right?
Yeah, from what we've measured in the plants, unless they have a fungi, it should be okay.
So the herbage that the animals have been on here, did it have a fungal build-up on it?
It did have a fungal build-up, yes.
Okay, so we're expecting that could be an issue for these ewes?
Yes.
Rachel, I've had farmers call me and they've got ewe lambs that are getting udder development, which they really shouldn't be. So what advice have you got for them?
Yeah, so we saw the same thing last year at a farm, Creedmoor down near Oamaru, and they removed the animals 4 weeks before mating and they had no difference in the lambing rate between animals that were on the grass and animals that had been on the lucerne.
So 4 weeks seems a long time to have to remove them beforehand. Do we think 4 weeks is the right time, or might it be shorter than that?
Yeah, it is quite a long time, so we're hoping it'll be shorter than that, and that's why we're running this experiment.
Okay, so our best advice at this stage is if you've got animals that you want to put some weight on, lucerne for sure. If you're concerned because it's got fungi on it, then maybe get them off 2 weeks before you want to put the ram out. Rachel's work will tell us whether that 2 weeks is the right period, or maybe it's a bit longer or a bit shorter, but that's where we're at. Rachel, do you know what sort of weather conditions might cause us a problem?
Yeah, so in 2014 we had a couple weeks that it was really overcast and cloudy and drizzly, and we saw a big spike in the phytoestrogen content then.
Okay, I remember that, sort of April 2014, I think it was the last time we had significant rainfall in North Canterbury. They had about 200 millimetres and it was 2 or 3 weeks of really dull overcast weather. So you would expect that sort of conditions could cause problems?
Yeah.
And do we know which animals might be more susceptible to having a problem? Young, old?
Yeah, we're thinking that the young animals, the hoggets, are the most susceptible to it.
So if you've got a concern with ewe lambs or hoggets, then maybe they need to come off the lucerne a little bit earlier, but mixed age ewes seem to be less susceptible. So we're out in the paddock looking at some of the lucerne that Rachel's got that the animals are going to be grazing. Rachel, this is a flowering stem and you're telling us that we don't really need to worry too much about the flowers on this in terms of ovulation.
No, we don't need to worry about the flowers, but when we look further down the plant we can see that there's quite a few leaf spots on the leaves, and that's what we should be concerned about.
And what are those leaf spots?
I can see stemphyllium and leptoleaf spot.
So most farmers aren't going to know what that is.
Yes, so there's the little pale spots with the dark rim around the edge, and then there's also other smaller spots with yellow areas around the outside of them.
And what about the stem itself? Is that a problem?
The stem can be a problem. In this case we don't have much stem disease at all really.
But sometimes I know we get a black cloud on the stem and farmers will be familiar with that. Is that going to be an issue as well?
I think it might be an issue because it can also cause leaf spots on the leaves as well, and the animals will be getting into the stem of it when they're eating it too.
So in summary, from your work to date, we don't need to worry about water stress, we don't need to worry about flowering, but we do need to worry about fungi on the leaves or the stem.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.